Most people believe that owning a house outright is the ultimate financial goal. No mortgage, no bank, no monthly payment, just security. But what if I told you that a paid-off house can actually be one of the most dangerous financial positions you can be in? Not because owning a home is bad, not because debt is good, but because of what quietly happens to your money when it gets trapped inside a paid-off house. This video isn't about fear, it's about math and opportunity cost. Because the real danger isn't what you lose, it's what you never get the chance to earn. From the moment we are young, we are taught the same story. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, pay it off as fast as possible. Once the house is paid off, you've made it. Psychologically, this feels amazing. No debt equals peace. Peace equals freedom. And emotionally, that makes sense. But financially, emotions lie. Because money doesn't care how safe you feel. Money only responds to how it's used. And this is where the problem starts. When you pay off your house early, you're not just eliminating a payment. You're locking a massive amount of capital into a single, non-liquid asset. That money stops working. It stops compounding. It stops giving you options. This is called dead equity. Dead equity is money that exists on paper, but not in practice. Yes, your house may be worth $300,000 or $500,000 or more. But you can't spend that value. You can't invest it. You can't deploy it instantly. It just sits there. Quiet. Still. Idle. And idle money is expensive. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine you have a mortgage with a low interest rate, say 3 or 4%. Instead of investing extra money, you aggressively pay down the mortgage. Every month, you put an additional $500 toward the house. That feels responsible. But now let's zoom out. Historically, long-term market returns average around 7 to 10%. That same $500 invested consistently over decades doesn't just grow. It compounds. Quietly. Relentlessly. Over time, the difference isn't small. It's massive. Paying off the mortgage early might save you tens of thousands in interest. But investing that money could generate hundreds of thousands more. The gap between those two outcomes is the opportunity cost. And opportunity cost is invisible. You never see what could have been. You only see what feels safe. This is why paid-off houses can be dangerous. Not because they lose money, but because they prevent your money from multiplying. A house does not produce income. It does not send you monthly checks. It does not grow unless the market cooperates. And appreciation is not guaranteed. Even worse, appreciation doesn't help your cash flow. A house going up in value doesn't pay your bills. Another problem is liquidity. Liquidity is the ability to access your money quickly and easily. Cash is liquid. Stocks are relatively liquid. Businesses can be liquid. A house is not. If your wealth is tied up in home equity, accessing it is slow and expensive. You either have to sell the house, borrow against it, or refinance. And banks are least willing to lend when you need money the most. During recessions, during job loss, during emergencies. That's when liquidity matters. And a paid-off house gives you very little of it. Now let's talk about something people rarely calculate. The ongoing costs. Just because the mortgage is gone doesn't mean the house stops costing you money. You still pay property taxes. You still pay insurance. You still pay maintenance, repairs, renovations, unexpected failures, roofs, plumbing, HVAC systems. These costs never stop. And unlike income-producing assets, a personal residence doesn't pay you back. Money goes in. Nothing comes out. From a cash flow perspective, that's a liability. There's also concentration risk. When most of your net worth sits in a single property, you are heavily exposed to one market, one location, one economy, one housing cycle. If real estate prices drop, and they do, your net worth drops with it. History has proven this. Housing markets are not immune. If your wealth is diversified across multiple asset classes, downturns hurt less. But when everything is tied to one house, you have no cushion. Now, let's be clear. This is not an argument for reckless debt. This is not about living beyond your means. This is about strategic use of money. Wealthy individuals don't rush to eliminate low-interest debt. They keep cheap debt working while their capital earns higher returns elsewhere. They prioritize cash flow, flexibility, optionality. They understand that money is a tool, not a trophy. The emotional satisfaction of saying my house is paid off is powerful. But emotional decisions often come with hidden financial costs. Peace of mind is important, but so is financial momentum. The question is not, is paying off a house bad? The real question is, what is my money doing instead? If paying off your house early costs you decades of compounded growth, the price is enormous, even if you never see the bill. There are situations where paying off a house makes sense. If you are close to retirement, if you have no appetite for risk, if cash flow stability matters more than growth. But for many people, especially in their earning years, a paid-off house quietly slows their financial future. It feels like freedom, but it often becomes a wealth trap. The most dangerous financial mistakes aren't dramatic. They are subtle. They feel responsible. They feel safe. They feel smart. And that's why they go unquestioned. A paid-off house is not bad. But believing it's the ultimate asset, believing it's the finish line, that's the real danger. Because wealth isn't about owning things. It's about what your money is capable of doing. And money locked inside walls can't move, can't grow, can't help you build anything else. The goal isn't to eliminate debt at all costs. The goal is to build assets that work harder than you do. Assets that create income. Assets that compound. Assets that give you options. Because freedom doesn't come from what you own. It comes from what your money can do for you. And that's the part almost no one talks about.